Shit, barely.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you are listening to this. This is the GroupChat podcast. I'm joined, as always, my brother Will to the left of me. He's standing here at 6 foot tall, 197 pounds. Some bullshit ass gonna tell me it's a heavyweight.
Yo, it is.
I don't believe none of that shit. Again, the earth is flat and the moon ain't real. Or moon's made out of cheese. Whatever the fuck they tried to get off as an elementary schooler.
You been kicking it with Kyrie Irving?
That's his guy now. He said, man, Kyrie ain't as crazy as they all said.
Kyrie is probably like really low
He's
on like the
crazier.
niggas I would want to hang out with in professional sports. Not even for like the personal reasons. Kyrie just don't come off as like a nigga I'd want to kick it. I couldn't do that.
He might say the same about you, nigga.
Probably. That's fine. What would Kyrie be as a boxer?
He said a 7 foot nigga that can't hoop.
In the past life, you and Kyrie would have got along perfectly. But y'all love a white woman.
Well, we got to start off with violence. And I ain't got to love a white woman. I grew up in an area where there was just white women.
He said past tense, like you.
We gotta get that.
You
shit.
had a love for white women.
I still gotta live my day-to-day life, and I'm trying to stay married. So we gotta
You
make sure
had
that
an
narrative is.
you had an affinity for Caucasian
The
women.
life you live now ain't the life you lived then, and that's okay.
That's
Everybody got to understand
Who
that.
who you are ain't who you was.
I just that's a fact. Just want to make sure that is understood. Tony is in the building. Y'all can hear him standing in. 5'10", 179 pounds, just under the 180 for the scale. How we feeling today?
Good second baseman. Good second baseman size.
Yeah. Shit, you're probably even taller than most second basemen. Keep it real. I always laugh because, my wife will say she has an affinity for taller people. And then she'll sit there and talk about Mookie Betts, and I'm like, you do know this nigga's a midget, right? Like, I get it. Like, he hits home runs.
Can't
cool,
be starting the show with midget. Can't be starting the show with midget, my nigga.
I'm not. First of all, keep going, Justin. We not letting them have that as a slur. We not letting them have that as a slur. Fuck
God.
Now niggas got to start saying the M word. Like what?
We gonna be at a point where they say whatever happened to those hard foul guys.
Hey, just so y'all know in the background.
We gonna be the backpack rappers of podcast and shit.
No, please no. Please no.
Especially if Justin keep bringing a shit he said text message to the podcast.
God no.
One of these, somebody in the text be saying like, "Hey, yo, we gonna get canceled," and talk about he be saluting that shit, and it ain't me. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna be the reason. I might fuck up every now and again, but I ain't.
We not gonna get canceled, man. It's too much happening in real life for us to get canceled.
That's true. Like there's people out here.
Look, first of all, as long as Trump in office, can't nobody get canceled while Trump in office.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I ain't saying whether him being in office is a good thing or bad thing. I'm just saying we can't be canceled though for the next 4 years. For the next 4 years, we good money.
Next 4 years, get your wild shit off and come back next election like, hey, yo, my nigga, I was wilding. I went to therapy, got myself fixed. Like, I'm good now.
Shit. Things may never be the same, as they say.
That's a fact. That's a definite fact.
What y'all think will happen? So, like, all right, hold on, y'all. We had the first black president, right? Now they got your man Donnie Loke in office. At some point, we'll get a woman in office, whether that be a black woman or a white woman.
We know which one it'll be.
At some point, I don't know because Trump smoked both their boots, but
yeah.
At what point do y'all think a member of the LGBT community will be in office? Like, do y'all think that's gonna ever be a thing?
Probably. We ain't gonna be here to see
how many years away? How many years away from something like that happening do y'all think we are?
if it took what 150
It
for a
ain't. I don't
black
think
one,
it's happening in our lifetime for sure.
took about 300 years for a black one. Shit.
As long as niggas like Justin still walking and surfing, ain't gonna happen in this lifetime.
Hey, hold up. Why we? No. We ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. If
Don't try to get. I got gay friends narrative off. Don't try to pull that card.
nigga said I was going straight for the color TV, he was like, "I got color TV. I can't be racist." That's what nigga was going towards.
Yeah, I think that's where you was going.
I'ma say, shit. You need, because it kind of like resets itself, right? Like you got to think like at one point in time it was like, all right, all the old racist people just gonna get old and die out, and then like Trump gave basically like a second leash on life, and he like birthed the new generation. And so now you got to think, all right, you got to get through now, like the MAGA crowd and they kids and whoever's young enough. We probably I'm gonna say a good 100+ years
Over
or
under.
like two
I was
good
gonna say
assassinations.
over under
away.
100.
And I'm not encouraging assassinations. I'm just saying that there's, sometimes shit changes in the office when niggas get killed. It's just, that's factually speaking.
Not really. They just bring in another white man.
Yeah, like bring it on somewhere.
Yeah, but what if they
If,
VP? What if they
if Donald
VP?
Trump was to get assassinated today, it'll be the world still got to go on tomorrow.
If hypothetically in this, I ain't gonna do this. I ain't trying to get the FBI tapping that shit.
Two Americas.
But if they VP,
He's
it
gonna be the
happens
one,
to
Tony.
be, and someone
gonna
gets
be the one.
smoked, and they VP takes over. Does that count? Are we doing the technicality?
Depending on
Or
who your
what's the
VP
technicality?
is.
Like if your VP is a part of that community, and you just so happen to have some unfortunate circumstances, and your VP got to take over, are we saying
we don't live
First
in
of
a
all,
day and age where they'll vote for you if your VP is part of that community.
that's what I was about to say. So over under 50 years, like when we'll see a gay vice president.
Oh yeah.
They gotta start.
We like an elected one. I give it.
I'm saying like the nigga who win, that's his running mate. Like
I was saying just a candidate.
we already know what's the
see in our
deal.
lifetime, but
That's what I'm saying. Who actually gonna win? What, like, do you think in our lifetime we'll see a openly gay vice president?
Nah.
Or open member of the LGBTQ community?
Hell no.
Q plus community. My fault, y'all.
This shit already like you gotta account for how long it took to get to the first level of progress, which was like low. So to get to the next level of progress, it's gonna take probably longer.
I would say, like, mind you, this nigga in office ran on like the concept of building a wall. Nigga, I live in California. I go to TJ like several times a year. Nigga, there's already a wall. Like, it ain't. It's just when you can say stuff that elections
reinforce that shit.
Elections going forward are gonna be wild because like when you can win off just lying and niggas could pull up your lies and niggas just don't care. Like the other side just don't give a fuck about your lies. It's like I don't know what. Like like Tony talked a little bit post election and I'm like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that, like different strategies and shit. And then now I'm just like, could you have? Like if a nigga's just allowed to say anything.
The difference is niggas have been lying. Every election win is a lie. It's a matter.
That's what I was about to say. It don't matter who win. Like they both lie.
It's a matter of niggas not really caring, and that's the difference.
I guess that's my point. Of like
that's
when
the
you
difference.
can just say anything, you get off anything because like your core base or your like this shouldn't feel like rap. Like we all know rappers lie. But it's like in music, it ain't supposed to matter, and that's cool. But like my nigga, your job is more important than just being a rapper.
Nah, and niggas have known politicians to be liars since the beginning of time.
They are, but it's like there's gotta be levels to the lie.
And I mean, like
to some degree.
But it also depends on like who lie you want to really listen to. Like I mean, did y'all really believe Hillary Clinton was running around with hot sauce in that person shit?
That was a very funny time.
Because I
That
mean, 'cause,
was a very funny time. That was
so like,
ridiculous. Watching these niggas try to like take this office after Obama has been very funny. Like
I think
every
like
election.
Trump, he be getting his lies off, right?
That's
But
facts.
I think most people will say, yeah, Trump. Most people will probably say, yeah, I feel like Trump don't fuck with minorities.
That's facts.
Do you believe it or you think it's a lie?
That he don't fuck with minorities.
Yeah,
Only a nigga fuck with minorities. Anybody whose net worth don't start with a B.
Might be cooking.
So like we're
you might have
good.
a point.
But like I mean like
Might be
fifty-fifty.
cooking.
Like the minority thing, yeah, but like the net worth starting with a B, like
I'm
people
not.
think,
I'm
yo,
not.
you bet
I'm not
you
good
one
at all. First of all,
you like you one of them
let's
ones.
make that clear. I'm not. I'm not even a little bit good.
Trump might
And
shake
the
like
reason y'all
Madone's
know I'm
hand.
not good is because I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Like,
Niggas spitting again.
what Tony always say? Listen, if I had $1 billion,
Show
I would
enough.
not be on the podcast right now.
That's valid. That's
And,
valid. Oh,
and if I was on the podcast as a billionaire, I would 100% buy all the bots to make sure my shit is number one across all platforms.
You just popping up. Where this shit come from?
Listen, all genres, country, motherfucking emo, shit,
nigga
motherfucking
number one
motivational
emo
speech,
talking. Say, damn,
like
yo, they got a podcast. The number one emo
drama,
rock.
whatever the fuck y'all. Really, I
That's
think we give a little bit of all of that here though. I don't know about the emo part because y'all niggas cold, but
Y'all niggas cool.
just everything else though. Like, listen, man, y'all can get everything y'all need from right here.
just don't just I just want y'all to know when you listen to this, just remember you can hear the lies. Remember you
Y'all want
have
to
the
laugh? Y'all
you
want to
have
laugh? I might crack a couple jokes. Y'all want to hear that cloth talk? Tony is here.
that's a fact.
Justice, Justice 6ix9ine. Like, come on.
Hey man, we need to get into
Whatever y'all
this.
niggas need, we got it.
Oh man.
No, nobody talk that cloth talk like Tony talk that cloth talk.
Nah, Tony was going for a while. Like there was, you could tell like when Tony just finished listening to like Ross and Hove, you could tell it's a different mood. Like you could just tell that shit's been in his headphones.
Nigga think I'm listening to Rick Ross in 2025.
Hey man, classic mixtape. I don't know what I don't know what to say. Excuse me. What are the niggas you leave behind? Like, do you have like a rotation on like niggas you leave behind by like a certain year? Real quick, I know it's another topic list.
As
Like
far as like
niggas,
rappers,
yeah, like they naturally, or do you just like what is like the timeline for? It's like, all right, I just ain't listening to this nigga no more.
it could be
I
anything.
don't even I don't know into it. It
Could
just be
just
like you might
could
turn
just
that
wake
shit
up
on one
one
day and
day
be
and
like,
just like nah.
you throw that shit on one day and say this shit ain't hit like it used to.
Okay, valid. The you ever go? Never mind. I'm not starting the morning out with violence. I ain't gonna do it. We already got violence, and y'all not gonna start with the violence.
Come on, my nigga. See, like
I'm here to spread peace,
you
love,
need
and
to start.
prosperity.
Fuck
Let's
that.
start with.
You need to do whatever got to happen to take us to the next level. Say what's on your mind, nigga.
I told the Pelicans fly me out. I'm gonna get them 5 rebounds. Them niggas just
Come on,
let
my
everybody
nigga.
play now. Like
Ain't nobody signing. Ain't nobody signing, my nigga.
they let everybody play. Dog. Like they got niggas who ain't even on the G League team. They just calling niggas up.
You should have been trying to do that. You should have been trying to do this shit 6, 7 years ago. Don't wait till you 30 talking about I'm calling the Pelicans to get a 10-day.
Nah, I'm gonna tell them though, but like my knees in better health than Zion's. Now what? What can y'all really tell me?
Allegedly. When was the last time you jumped?
What is that?
That's a hell of a question. That's a hell of a question for real. Cause you don't just jump every day. Like you don't
Nah,
just,
that's what I was think about that shit. I was like,
You're
hold up,
like,
you
that
don't
is a
just
wild.
jump.
Oh shit, man.
what's your vert right now?
Hey man, look, last time at 24 Hour Fitness, like 3 weeks ago, nigga put up at like a nice 11 and 8. Yeah, we probably went 11-8. Now, they was all offensive rebounds, but, it still worked.
You was Angel Reese out there?
Hey, man, look, why are we starting the morning with violence, bro? It's the Lord's Day.
That's
It's
not
Sunday.
violence.
Like,
I love Angel Reese. Shout out to Chi-Town Barbie.
We starting the
She
day
a monster on the offensive boards.
We starting the day off with violence. Tony,
To
how
the
you
everybody else
NBA.
she was playing with.
To the NBA talk.
Oh man. Um. Yeah. So we got obviously the playoffs. I didn't know. I can pull them up really quick if you want to do them. Obviously, brackets aren't fully set in stone. Especially the West could literally everybody outside of the top three. Like niggas could be the 4 seed, niggas could be the 8 seed. Like it's crazy. And niggas could, yeah. And because also the plan, which I know we discussed this a little bit when we were on here. Like they got to stop the plan when the records are like this far apart. Like there is no reason for the West to be having plans with the fucking Mavericks and who's the 10 seed right now? It was the Mavs are the 9 and the 10 is the
The Kings, right?
That is wild. Like,
yeah.
so it's 9 is the Kings, 10 is the Mavs. They got the same record. But yeah, I mean, it should be like a thresh. You should have to be within like 3 or 4 games, like between 3 to 5 games to get a play in like shot. Like
That's
if
fact.
that's crazy. Like if I'm Minnesota and Memphis or whoever end up in that 7-8 spot, like why am I playing a team that I got damn near 10 wins over? I'm ahead of them by
They
10
over
wins.
500. Like, bro, you don't
Like
deserve to be in the playoffs.
I can see if it was closer.
Like
in the
you
East,
should.
it's a little different. Like, all right, you got Orlando with 41 wins and Miami at the 10th spot with 37, which they ain't over 500 either. But that's a lot closer than the bottom of the West.
No, that's a fact. So, but because of that, I didn't know if we want to necessarily do brackets or if we just wanted to do like what like our biggest predictions were going into this playoffs.
No, hell no, I ain't trying to do all that. I was just I really was just trying to have us give our predictions for like the finals, or at least the Eastern Conference Finals and the conference finals and finals, and just the awards.
All right, cool. So we on the same boat here then. All right, well let's start in the West then. I think we probably all have similar views about the Eastern Conference. In the West, like what's probably like the main questions, and that is I guess you got to start here. Is there anybody that y'all feel confident should be able to beat OKC? OKC got 67 wins. They technically get up to 68, but they're not. I don't think they're playing anybody, and they playing the Pels to end the season. And the Pels again, them niggas basically starting me at all 5 positions. It's for me and Jose Alvarado. I don't want to disrespect Jose.
Oh yeah, them niggas getting cooked.
So
barbecue chicken.
Is there a team that y'all think could beat the Thunder?
Yeah.
I got a couple.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't.
I don't know. Again, it's when you get into that high 60s win, like that should be like in the tier of like all-time team. But obviously, this team doesn't feel like an all-time team. I think to anyone's perspective. But 67, 68 wins, that puts you in that all-time class. So who would y'all say is like your biggest threat to come out of the West then?
It's tough.
The biggest threat to the OKC or the biggest threat to just win the West? Because if it's the biggest threat to win the West is OKC, but the biggest threat to them could be, say, it could be the Clippers, could be the Warriors, Minnesota.
I think, I'm like, if they match up,
Jokic ain't scared of none of these niggas.
Yeah. I think Denver is where it get tricky for me because it's like I just don't. I mean, and it's gonna be all dependent upon everybody else, and especially with them kind of getting rid of their coach at the end of the season and things like that. I think that's where it get tricky for me with Denver, but I for sure think that they can beat OKC. I think the Clippers can beat OKC. I think the Warriors can beat OKC. The Lakers, I got to see it. Not that I don't think they can, because I mean, of course, they have LeBron and Luka, but they don't play defense.
See, I think the way this seeds out is gonna matter a lot because, like, I would say the Lakers got a really good chance to beat OKC. I also think if the Nuggets lose today and Clippers and Warriors win and the Nuggets fall to the 6 and it's Nuggets Warriors, I'm sorry, Nuggets Lakers round 1, I think that's the Lakers' worst matchup because Jokic's just routine.
I do too. So I think
niggas in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think the Warriors matchup. I think that's a good matchup for the Lakers.
I agree. I think the Lakers would smoke the Warriors.
And I do think that series can go either way, but I think they would be okay with that matchup other than just about any other matchup outside of like Minnesota, Memphis, like one of those teams, but like out of like the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Warriors, I would say they would probably prefer to match up against the Warriors, and I think they will feel confident going against like Memphis or Minnesota also if they were to run into either one of them with no problem.
No, it's valid. I think again a lot of this is seeding. Like right now, the Nuggets and Clippers in the first round. Like I think that's a bad matchup for Denver because Jokic is gonna go crazy in any series. Like it's not really so much. Like that's not a surprise or anything. It's gonna be like, oh shit, like he went crazy. Like, but I think against the Clippers, where I just don't know how, like, who's gonna give him help, especially with, again, Kawhi, Harden. Like the Clippers are gonna have the edge on the perimeter, and so even if Jokic goes fucking 30, 15, and 15, like I don't think that shit's gonna be enough against the Clippers specifically.
And it's like Zubac can hold his own from like the offensive end, so.
Gonna do
the Clippers is a scary matchup for just about anybody. Like that's gonna be tough for somebody.
No, 1,000%. And if they win that
that's
one,
gonna be tough. And is Ben Simmons healthy? Is he still playing too?
That's a man. You got a couple good questions this morning. When was the last time you jumped? Is Ben Simmons healthy? We got some fire questions to start the show.
I'll check. I just didn't know if either one of you all knew. I'll check real quick though, because I know they played tonight anyway.
I was going to ask his Norm Powell back because I know he had missed some time, didn't he?
Yep, I'm about to check now, so I'll be able to let you guys know shortly. Let's see.
But that Clippers matchup it's tough. Like that's a very tough matchup for like you said for any of these teams. But
they both played the last game. Norm Powell and Ben Simmons played the last game. Ben Simmons only played 12 minutes, but Norm Powell definitely played. So that's I think they scary for just about anybody, and especially because you haven't really seen them healthy all season. So it's like the first time you got to see them from like multiple games, and now you're talking about a fully healthy team.
Especially because like Kawhi has been playing like Kawhi, and like that nigga just if he's whatever you want to say, that top level peak, whatever word you want to use to describe it, if he's playing like that, he's a top 5 guy in the series. Like that just is what it is. Especially like offense, defense, like, and again that's why I don't know who's. The Clippers are probably the scariest team to play out of everybody. Out of the non supposed, I'll ask this too. Anybody scared of the Rockets? Like they are the 2 seed.
In a fist fight or a basketball game?
Either or, man. It's the playoffs. I saw Lou Dort basically do fist fights in the playoffs.
Lou Dort is an appearance merchant.
I don't think that shit they pulling gonna work in the playoffs anyway for the Rockets.
Like if seeding stayed the same, like would y'all take the Timberwolves over the Rockets?
Should I probably take the Timberwolves and Memphis? I'll probably take Memphis over them too, though. To be honest.
Man, you want to talk about a fist fight?
Ain't got time to be boxing. You think Memphis pulling out fists?
you think Ja got time to be boxing?
Hey, you think they gonna let Dylan Brooks in the arena? Like they gonna hit that nigga with the we said you can't ever come back. You can only play the home game.
When niggas up pole.
Oh shit. So I guess Tony, you said OKC is the biggest threat. If you had to put like a percentage on it, like what would you say is like the percentage OKC makes it out the West?
Like I honestly think it's 50-50 between OKC and the field, just because That what game was it? I want to say the first Lakers Thunder game, probably a week ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're going to be officiated so differently in the playoffs.
Yeah,
And I don't, and on top of just the general play, it's like the mindset and the pressure is like, can they hold up and react to that? I just don't know. Like because they didn't do it last year. It's like you were the one seed last year. And like, obviously you better, and you've been in that moment before. So it's like you would expect them to have a little bit more readiness to that. But it's just like we got to see it because that shit sounds good in theory, but it's like you in a series and it's 2-2 and you got to play Kawhi Leonard, who's a two-time champion, who's been here, who sent people home. It's like how like what do you do in that situation? You gotta play LeBron James and Luka Doncic, who one is coming off one is coming off the finals and beat you already. One is a four-time champion. So it's just like all of that shit sounds good. Like, oh yeah, they had to go through last year against Dallas and they get eliminated and they come back and they're better, so they'll be more ready. And it's just like that shit don't always go that way.
that's a fact.
Like you can have all the regular season success you want to have, but it's like playoffs is different. You got maximum 7 games, and you got to get 4 wins out of those 7 games, and you don't play in a conference where you had the luxury of just expecting to win.
I'm trying to see before I say this if the East also look like this. Nah, see the West is hell because to your point of like you're been there before so much different than everybody else's, right? Is you get the Thunder Rockets, obviously the two youngest teams in the top 2 seeds. It's like Luca LeBron on the Lakers, Jokic on the Nuggets, Kawhi on the Clippers, Steph, and Draymond on the Warriors. Like you running through like teams with multiple guys who have been not just in like a title appearance or multiple title appearances, guys that ain't phased by like you might be better than them now at this stage of their career. Like SGA might be better than like old LeBron or old Steph, but like you haven't been in near the battles these guys have been in, and so when it's
And it's
like,
like that shit to that point. That shit matters. That
mm-hmm.
shit don't really matter on a night to night.
Oh yeah,
Because them niggas can still be the best player in the game on a night to night basis.
that's a fact. No, we was talking. Is that was my the Lakers question? Is like for the Lakers to go as far as they want, and this is a wild question just because again this nigga's in year 22. Shout out to LeBron's them posting like, yo, his 20-year streak of 25 points per game snapped, and I'm like, this nigga went 24.4, like, and he probably would have got that shit if not for like those first couple of games when he was injured / deferring to Luca. But who's got to be the best player for the Lakers if they want to win a title?
Luka.
Luca can be the best player. I think that ain't gonna take away from LeBron being maybe the most important, obviously.
See, I think LeBron. I
He
think I
got to
think
because if he show up, if they can get the Luka that Dallas got up to the finals, that means LeBron is playing a Kyrie role and is like, even at this stage of his career, I'd rather have
agreed.
LeBron and Kyrie for a playoff series, so for like a playoff run. So if he has to be the best player, and it just comes down to, you know, is Austin Reeves going to be the Austin Reeves that he's been in the regular season? Can they get contribution from all the other guys they've got contributions from throughout the regular season? If that happens, they got a good shot of at the very least making the conference finals. But if is LeBron out there having to do more than he should, given who his co-star is like it could be an early exit for them niggas.
And I'm gonna ask this just out of being because I asked the same shit. I'm gonna ask the same shit in the East, and so I just want to make sure that I'm being fair with the West too, because it's probably more applicable in the West. Is how far, if we agree Jokic is the best player in the conference, but the Nuggets, obviously, we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, are not nearly as good of a team as they've been in the past. How far does Jokic just going crazy really take you?
I think it depends on the matchup. Like, because I think, yeah, I think he's the best player in the conference, but I think he in a conference with other all-time greats. So it's like, yeah, being the best player, that's like a thing, but it depends on the matchup because he can ball out against the Clippers, and I can see the Clippers still winning.
Mm-hmm. No,
I
I
feel
think
that way about the Lakers, and I feel that way about the Warriors. Like if they played against them, like if he ball out and he not really getting any real contributions from anybody else, Um, he's not going to be able to carry them over teams like those
I think
just by himself.
I think it's definitely matchup specific. Where like again, I think he's got something against the Lakers, especially with no AD. Like he was cooking them when they had AD, and so even without AD, it's even less of an answer. I think he would do really well in the series against either the Rockets or Thunder. But again, I could see them struggling a lot against the Clippers, Warriors, Wolves. The Wolves swept them last year. Like, I think it's absolutely matchup specific. Where, and I think his numbers are going to be stupid. Like, we're going to look back and he's going to have the same way when LeBron was at his peak, and that's not even. I'm not his peak, but that second stint with Cleveland, where it's like every playoffs he was leading the league in fucking everything. Jokic is probably going to do that as well. I just don't think that unless the matchup in the bracket plays out, it's going to be able to get them far enough. But I do think they have good matchups in the bracket, but they've also got really, like, I don't know how they beat the Clippers, like, at all. Like, regardless of seeding.
Who?
The Nuggets. Like,
Hmm.
I just, if the Nuggets and Clippers played a series, like, it would be really hard for me to be like, oh yeah, the Nuggets could win this.
Gotcha.
Going over to the East, we'll play the easy question. So I asked you percentage of OKC versus the field. So I'll ask both y'all percentage Boston versus the field.
I got Boston going to the finals. The only team that I really feel like can give them a real, like a legit run is probably Milwaukee. Because I think that's the only series that I feel like they would play in. And let me see.
Just
I
not have the
think
best
that's the
player.
only series. Yeah, that's the only series that they could play in where it's debatable who the best player is on the court. Like, and in most of those other series, they probably gonna have the two best players on the court.
Tony?
I'd say Cleveland is the biggest threat to that. I don't really give anybody else a shot outside of Cleveland, just because I think Cleveland's got a little bit better matchups when you talk about like they're able to match the double bigs, their ability to shoot the ball. I think Donovan Mitchell should be fine. So it's a matter of Donovan Mitchell's health and a matter of Jalen Brown's health, because those two guys that's not necessarily healthy right now. So that'll be interesting to see. Garland struggled against the Celtics just because they can throw length at him. But Evan Mobley's much better than he was last year when they played, and he played well even in that case. But also like the Celtics didn't have Porzingis,
Mm-hmm.
so it should be. I would like the Celtics still probably heavy favorites, definitely for me, but I know for everybody else. But Cleveland would be the biggest threat, I think, just off the ability to like kind of do different things matchup wise. And that bench is really good. So it's like if they can still get at least not the same, but similar contributions from the bench from Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, stuff like that, then they can they can do something for sure.
So I
Bulls 5.
nigga. I said Cancun on 5. I said last week where I was like, the only two scenarios I see the
This
Celtics
nigga.
losing. Nigga, the Pelicans already been in Cancun. Them niggas said, hey, yo, go home. We trying to tank. Like, niggas been in Cancun for the past 2 weeks.
You can't keep saying they trying to tank. They just ass nigga.
Nah, they trying to tank. Them niggas started. CJ again. CJ pulled a hamstring. Them niggas said, "Oh yeah, it's out for the season, bro." Like you ain't even get a second opinion. Nah, nigga out for the season.
CJ wasn't going to win y'all niggas no more games.
Hey man, look.
Who the fuck do you think CJ is?
It is funny, like you've been throwing the trying to tank thing out there since like December. It's like the niggas
Niggas,
the
hey,
niggas is not good.
Niggas ass.
Bi had a sprained ankle. Bi ain't played since like week 3 of the season, bro. Sprained ankle, like since week 3 of the season. Anyway,
They know what you refuse to know. So I
we're not
think
talking
that's
about my trash
just
ass team. It's the playoffs. We're not talking about my trash ass team. It's cool.
football will be back soon. That's okay.
That's a fact. Fuck right field. The only two scenarios I see the Celtics losing, and I said this, is that Cleveland, because they are the only team that's going to have home court against them, and so that does matter. I still think the Celtics are better than Cleveland, but that's one of the scenarios. And the other scenario I said is Giannis going crazy. Now, I have pretty much convinced myself, like I'm rolling in the East this playoffs. The Celtics should win. They're the best team. but I have pretty much convinced myself, especially after the last 2 weeks, Giannis is. Will and I kind of talked about this on Thursday or Wednesday, where I'm like, Giannis is the last dude where when we're talking about best players in the sport, he's the only dude who's playing both offense and defense. And I know the Bucks ain't good or nearly as good as they've been in the past, but he's the only dude who's great offensively and defensively at like that really high end level of like the top guys. And we're gonna unironically, so I'm rolling with the Bucks pretty much until they lose, even though I don't think they're the best team. That's because I think he's gonna go crazy this playoffs. That being said, I think we're actually gonna see like that, and not that he'll ever admit this, but that hypothetical scenario of like niggas used to throw Shaq against all these great 3-point shooting teams and like, what would win? And it's like, could you shoot more threes than like Shaq of scoring 60 in the post? Giannis might run and dunk for like 40 to 50 points, and the Celtics might literally hit 33s, and that shit's gonna get real bad.
We don't
quick.
live in a world where Giannis going off matters. Just because like the league is different, and that team stinks. Like that team stinks, and he's doing a lot of heavy lifting right now, and he should not. That's not sustainable. Like if Giannis makes it through the first round series, I'd be surprised.
They would play. You don't think they could beat the Pacers?
That's not a matter of I don't think they could beat the Pacers, one, but I don't think that he can sustain having to do all of this before the playoffs and then play a team like the Pacers that do a bunch of running and jumping.
I'm rolling with Giannis right now. I get it, and the Bucks are not a good team, especially because Dame's just out, right? Like Dame ain't coming. There's like no chance Dame comes back.
No, he is not playing again this season.
Yeah. Oh shit! And I ain't got them niggas winning.
That's the saying. Like again, but I'm throwing up you're one of the only dudes who you could be great offensively and defensively. I get it. There's reasons why that gets nullified, and you'll probably see that. But like again, I said,
he could definitely beat the Pacers. Giannis could beat the Pacers.
If your matchups turned out where like let's say they beat the Pacers, right? And I think the Pistons are going to beat the Knicks.
I got the Pistons beating the Knicks. Ugh, I don't know. I can see it though.
For this scenario, I need the Knicks to I need y'all to do what you're supposed to do because I need Cavs Bucks in the round 2. So I'm like, they getting smoked by the Celtics, but they got to play them in round 2. And I'm not as high on the Cavs as far as like a playoff team. Like they had a great regular season, and again, I said they have a chance against the Celtics because they'll actually have home court, and that does matter. But I'm like, could I see Giannis going crazy against the Cavs? Yes, I could. Now they have Evan Mobley, who's probably the best player at defending Giannis in the entire league. Which shout out to the Oddmakers, by the way. I'm glad y'all not letting this Draymond Green campaign go all the way to the end of the season. Shout out to Draymond's publicist because I don't know where the fuck that came from, but that nigga literally like stole Defensive Player of the Year voting for like a month. And so again, my opinion is I'm rolling with the Bucks, even though I don't think they're the best team because I'm rolling with Giannis. The Bucks ain't that good. So yeah, but otherwise, I'm like these to me. Otherwise, is pretty boring because the Celtics should smoke everybody 4-0, 4-1. Now I don't know if Tony is still on this team is stupid train, which because Tony should just give them a lot. Like Tony refused to give them niggas a sweep for like 2 years. He just said they not smart, so they going.
I was right.
4-1 or 4-2.
I was right.
You were, but like. I don't know if that's still. I don't watch them on a day-to-day basis, so I don't know if that is still. Do you think this team could sweep multiple teams in the playoffs, or you think that shit's still gonna they gonna lose a game being dumb?
I mean, they don't really play a game. They don't play a game where they can just sweep everybody because they'll go fucking 12 for 51 from 3. Like that's just gonna happen. So it's like they'll probably have a lot of 5-game series, maybe a 6-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals, but. Yeah, they just don't play a game where you can just sweep because it's too volatile of a game. Like they're gonna go cold as shit from 3 in one of those games that they play in one of these series, and that's just where that happens. And then they'll come back and they'll make 44% of the threes out of the 67 that they shot. So,
bro, that's wild. If I see Peyton Pritchard drop 30 in the playoffs, I'm gonna be sick.
well, get ready to get some Robitussin, my brother.
Peyton Pritchard just randomly dropped having like 30 pieces and 40 pieces in this regular season was fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't got them seeing 7 games from nobody though.
No, I think they should smoke the East. Like it's not even really. Again, the East is boring in that regard. Um, the all right. So then, if we got who from the West could actually beat Boston if they meet in the finals?
Thunder, Warriors.
You think the Warriors could beat them?
I think it's just a
I think the
matchup thing.
Warriors could beat them.
I think it's just a matchup thing. It's not necessarily like a team thing. It's a matchup thing. Um, the Thunder Warriors. That's shit. That's probably honestly all I would go for.
Clippers would be interesting. That'd be a dope finals matchup.
If James
I feel
Harden
like
makes the
that'd be.
finals, I definitely pick. I'm definitely picking the Celtics.
Tony need that 7 point
Yeah.
game three. That nigga go.
Let's say Kawhi's a A+, James Harden's a C+. That
You
balance
take
on the
that.
wash or what, like a
He
B?
said you
Nah.
take that.
He said that's the
B's don't get
Project.
degrees around here, brother.
Oh man, no, that's valid. This is now
I
okay.
would
So
say the Warriors would probably be their biggest like issue just because of the matchups.
I, I don't know. I'm not as high on the Warriors as I feel like a lot of other people
I
are.
don't think I don't
I
think
don't
the
think I
I
don't
don't
think the
think the
Warriors
Thunder
are
would
going
get
to
them.
win their first round series, but if they make it to the finals, then
Okay,
that's that.
okay, I get it. Okay, and is that
I
just
don't
like?
think the Thunder. I don't think the Thunder can fuck with Boston though. Like
Oh, I don't either. That's why if it's just a one seed, if it's
they
the
can
Cavs are
they
the
can
one
watch
seed.
them niggas.
I don't. I see. I want to know what the again. SGA is going to be really interesting because is he going to get James Harden treatment or is he going to get? Because I don't think because Luka, even though Luka gets a lot of foul calls, like Luka's game is translated to the playoffs. Like Luka, I think is still like second all time in points per game. Like I think it's Mike and then him. Um, and that's what's going to really be the difference. Is SGA going to be able to translate his game like Luka does in the playoffs, or is it going to be like Harden does, which is obviously
I mean,
different.
that brother averaged 37 and 6 in the playoffs last year. Like like he gets some wild calls, but I ain't gonna act like Shea is like his game doesn't translate. That's just I don't think that's fair to him.
No, it's valid. I also think now again, and I think
He
it's
did that on
changed.
50, 43, and 79. Like he still got 8 free throws a game last playoffs.
I think the difference is I don't know if that was the larger narrative around him, and because I think the refs buy into some of that shit. Whereas like once I forget what game it was, but it was the game I think it was against the Lakers where he was just doing some wild shit and they were calling it, and it was all over the place, and it was like, yo, SJ's getting these crazy calls, blah blah, and the refs are human, and I think at some point they kind of look at that as like, I like stop playing with us. And so I'm curious, and because of the way OKC plays defense, which
The man about to be the league MVP. He getting at least 9 free throws a game. That's just it is what it is.
Harden never got that, even when Harden won
Nigga,
MVP.
who?
Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I'm
Shea
not saying
Harden
Gilgeous
he's not.
Alexander is the
Harden never
MVP,
got
is
one.
the MVP on the goddamn almost 70-win playoff team. James Harden was the 1 seed, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it's a good, but you're not gonna beat the Warriors." Like these two different MVP levels. It just is what it is.
I mean, hey, look, man. Nobody's be. Yeah. Was that the year they won MVP? Was that the year they had the lead? Was that no? Was that was the year after
The
Chris
year he
Paul?
won MVP, that was the 3-1 year. That was 2018 because Russ won in 2017.
Hey man, yeah, nah, nobody was beating the Warrior teams. I saw that shit on Twitter. They was like, throw an all-time great team and an all-time great player, and they gave the Warriors LeBron. I'm like, who the fuck did you? I don't give a fuck who's on the other team. Like, what do you think these niggas was not gonna do? Like, these niggas just scoring 300 a game, bro. Like, you telling me I get
Like
Steph, LeBron?
Shea ain't the thing that I'm at all would be worried about it from a Thunder fan and just generally as a basketball fan. Is Jalen Williams going to play up to what he was in the regular season? Is Chet going to be able to make shots and defend? Are they still going to get the same bench contributions because rotation is shortened and like I said, the pressure is higher. So it's like everybody else got to play well. Shea will be fine.
I don't think Shade's gonna be like a bum in the playoffs by no means. The again, I think it's always more interesting in just the way they ref how they play defense because the Thunder and the Rockets both play like they play the kind of defense where like they damn near force the refs. Yo, call a whistle. Like we gonna be tough. We gonna be extra physical. Like call a whistle. And so how that will play in the playoffs, especially for teams that aren't established like other teams, like you're not. And again, I think it matters when like you run up against LeBron and Luka, you run up against Jokic, you run against Kawhi and Harden, you run up against Steph, Draymond, Jimmy. Like there's guys who are more proven in the playoffs, are legends in the game and shit like that. Do we all, I guess, to wrap this up, I think we all got Boston winning this, like convincingly. Like they should be the overwhelming favorite.
You saying to win the title or to win the East or both?
Title.
I wouldn't say
I would
overwhelming.
like to see I would like to see that. It would depend. I think it would still depend on the matchup.
I do think they'll win the title, but I wouldn't say overwhelming at all.
Okay.
I definitely got Boston.
I need to see how fucking Jaylen Brown's knee is.
Valid. And I feel like we're the only place where like Tony, you got Jason Tatum top 5 right now.
I Jason Tatum top 3.
Damn.
My nigga.
And Will, you got him top 5?
1000%. The way like it's like I feel like the way I talk about like Boston and like niggas would probably think I was a Boston fan because I fuck with Boston. Like I'm not like a Celtics fan by any means, but like number one, I think they got a really good team, and I think Jason Tatum is better than a lot of these niggas.
How high is Tatum if you get back-to-back finals?
In what, the league?
Yeah.
For me?
The highest he could go is 2.
I was gonna say he top 2. if he went back to if he win another fight, if they win the finals this year, as long as he performing, I don't give a fuck about that MVP because really he should have been MVP last year. He should have got finals MVP last year. That's my opinion. If he lead him in every fucking stat like he did last year or whatever, it's like, yeah, I'm not debating with nobody about no Luka Doncic, nobody else being top 2.
Tony, you got him 2 if they win again?
Yeah.
And so
3 easily. I mean, only niggas who I would be having that conversation with is Jokic and fucking Giannis.
I would probably say I think that's probably fair. I think that so Jokic I'd probably still have over him. I think Giannis would depend on like again whatever Giannis does in the playoffs. Like if Giannis goes out sad, then yeah, I probably would put Tatum above him. If Tatum wins a title and Giannis goes out sad, if Giannis goes out, let's say second round against the Eastern Conference Finals and he's putting up crazy numbers, but they still lose to Boston, I would probably still give the slight edge to Giannis, but it would be
you can't get a slight edge to the nigga I just beat though. Like if I beat you on the way to getting my second one, you not over me, nigga.
Again, it's going to depend
on especially if we both putting up numbers.
That's what's going to be, but then both putting up numbers could look drastically different. Like Tatum could average 24, and there could be like 4 niggas on Boston going 20, and Giannis could get swept going like 40 and 10. And so that's where it's like, again, I would have him over him, but Giannis is the only guy, if he goes crazy, was going to have an argument besides Jokic. And even then, like, at some point, like, it's going to have to be a conversation of, like, Jokic's defense getting worse, where, like, even if you put up all-time historic offensive numbers, you're going to start kind of getting that same rep as Luka, where, like, you might put up all-time historic stat lines, but, my nigga, you give up 50 to everybody. Like, you almost aren't, like, a plus on the court because you just not, like, you are a bad defender, not just a not good defender.
And it's interesting. I mean, and we talked about it on Tuesday when we did that, just about, like as far as like how he I guess where he gets placed. I mean, amongst the all-time greats, number one, and then even right now, like it's all offense related. Like don't nobody care that he don't play defense. Don't nobody care about none of that shit. And I think had he not won, like had he not had those MVPs and won that title, like I think the conversation would be different. But like I said on Tuesday, once you win, it's like no nobody care no more. And Tony, I know when me and Justin we was talking, I even talked about Giannis. I'm like, look, before he won the title, all everybody said was he couldn't shoot. I ain't heard niggas say he
Yeah,
needed a jump shot since then.
that's a fact.
Since he won the title, I ain't heard niggas say nothing about him needing a jump shot.
And
So it's like winning kind of like they stop looking at your flaws once you win.
no, that's a fact. Because Jokic right now is like, if you looking at not just in the league, but like even all time, like it's him and Steph are by far like the worst defenders of like all time players. Like everybody else that you put in that like class of like how great can you be, everybody was really good, if not a great all time defender. Like it's just
But
him
I
and
think
Steph.
Steph is like the only nigga under 6'5", like debated to be in the top 10 also.
No, that's a fact. No, Jokic is just an awful defender. Like I was kind of rolling with it, and then I watched a couple Nuggets games in a row, and I'm like, yo, this nigga just barely moved his feet. like
It's one of those things where he kind of has to be though, because his load on offense is just so heavy.
I get it, but like you got to. That's again, it's. I guess my point would be to Jokic, and we'll close out this is. If we go and give Luka shit for that, and Luka's also got now it's been different obviously since now he's with LeBron, but like Luka used to be he was the offense, and I'm not like the Luka support guy. But if we're gonna say I talked about like Reggie that one game was just like going at him, and he was like, "Yo, everybody's just like attacking Luka, attacking Luka, attacking Luka." He's like, and that shit just carried and stuck with him. And Luka's not a good defender. I'm not trying to defend that. But if we're gonna give Luka that criticism of like, oh, you all time great on offense, but you also like awful on defense, Jokic got to start carrying some of that, especially as some of that shine from winning that title gets farther and farther away.
Not
Losers
when
don't
you
get the
never
same
play with an
stipulations as winners.
not when you never play with another All Star, like not when you never play with another All Star, not when the quote unquote second best player on your team is like he's here, he's not here, he's balling, then he's putting up poor date numbers, like it's just not the same. Like the context of that is just not the same. And like you said, like Jokic's not a good defender. That's not to say like the motherfucker's a good defender, but his him carrying the offense and the way that and Luka having to carry the offense in years past has just not been the same.
That's okay. That's I'm not saying you wrong. Again, I just if I guess I trying to be like all things being fair because also with the All Star shit, I'm like. Because they put out the stat, he's like the first MVP to never have an All-Star first 10 years of his career, which is crazy. I also don't think that he's like hasn't played with talent. Like Michael Porter Jr. is talented, Jamal Murray is talented, even though he's had injuries.
He hasn't played with reliable talent though. Those are two different things.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Um, and it's technically because they did it was 10 years, but you had to play with an All-Star while he was with you because. I'm like, wait, DeAndre Jordan was definitely an all-star, but like, and I understand if I got to pull DeAndre Jordan as your all-star, we're already down bad. But like, I think that's how bad center was at one point. Like, we had DeAndre Jordan was a starting center in the all-star game, man. Like, that's how down bad the position was.
I'm legit trying to think about like DeAndre, like where was I at in life when DeAndre Jordan's last all-star?
Shit, middle school, middle school. What that'd be? No, 2011.
No, that nigga wasn't an all-star in 2011. That was like 2015, I think, 2016 maybe. His last all-star year. So that'd been like end of high school type shit.
I'm trying to think Chris Paul. When Chris Paul was a Clipper, 20.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that shit was wild. That nigga had to it. Nigga was just anyway. Shout out to DeAndre Jordan. Good career, man. I want to get into. I'm going a little out of order, so I want to hit the two main things, obviously, that we had on the schedule. We wanted to hit last week, but ran out of time. We've been doing our series of looking back at albums, excuse me, that are 10 years. And today, we have Will's Man, Wale, the album About Nothing. Obviously, we kind of started to, but we had to scrap it because, again, didn't have enough time last week. So I'm going to kind of re-ask the same question I started that didn't get recorded or published, at least, is why do y'all feel like Wale never got the credit that he probably should have, uh, considering the kind of music he was putting out during this time frame? Like, where he was never put into some of these conversations of you one of the top guys, especially where like that top class got broken down to now 3 guys, but at that time it's probably between 3 to 5 guys. And Wale took it personally because Wale used to just, I said this last week, Wale used to just call radio stations and cuss niggas out because he felt like he wasn't getting the love that he wanted. Which maybe, calling out radio stations that have to play your music and cussing them out, probably not great to get your music played. But I digress. Why do y'all feel like Wale never got put in those conversations more than he should have?
You can go ahead, Will.
Shit, what I can't even remember what I said last week.
It's okay, it didn't get uploaded, so you got a brand new canvas.
I know, right? Now I gotta think. So I think part of it is not being the media darling. I think that and I think that was kind of one of his things always. But it's kind of tough because I don't necessarily see like Kendrick Cole or Drake that way either. It's really hard to pinpoint why. Because I mean, like musically, I feel like he always had the success as far as his songs. When he come out with some of those songs that do really well on the charts and kind of get super popular, but just I think people don't really connect with him, I guess, as a person. And I mean, I think over the last few years, that's big for like these younger, the younger people as far as being able to connect with who they're listening to.
Mm-hmm. Valid. Tony?
Because I mean, he got the songs, he got the catalog.
No, he definitely got. If you want to go like I said this a little bit last week. I'm like, if you want to go like top end hits, like he's probably doing top end hits with anybody besides maybe Drake. Because like Wale got some hits, not just like, oh, this shit was fire. Like, no, he got some, like Lotus Flower Bomb was going crazy. Excuse me. Like I said like he had a record with Gaga, and it was like he has records that or. Again, besides probably exactly Drake, he could go hit for hit with anybody. Tony, you said one time, and I'm curious if you still feel this way, and I forget what even the context was. I don't think it was on a pod. I think we were just talking, which is like Wale and Drake actually do make the same music. It just don't hit the same way. You still feel
Oh
that?
yeah, and it's especially because when you think about a lot of the shit Wale has put out around, let's say 2014 to like 2018, let's say that range of time, 2014, 2018 for him and Drake. It's like
Mm,
Wale put out the same type of like women records, if you want to call them that. The rapping was at a high level like Drake. They could both put out like just, those records where just put on like a hard beat and they can rap. But it's a lot of different reasons as to why he hasn't gotten like the praise or at least like the superstardom that Drake has. Obviously, like fucking colorism is one of them, but the relatability to an extent, because like Drake was looked at as like a you could he was, I guess, more relatable in a way as far as like those singing records went. And
mm,
then from a rapping standpoint, he had like a brighter light on him bar wise than Wale did, even if like rappers would have said like that's not something that's like super far off, or like a lot of like rappers probably would say like Wale's a better rapper.
mm,
So it's just a matter of, a lot of different things that's out of Wale's control, but also to the point of like some people just don't like Wale. Like that's just it is what it is. Like some people just find him to be like an asshole. Some people might find him not to be like a nice guy. Some people might think that he isn't as good as he thinks he is. And that'll
mm.
always happen in art, like in any form of art. Like sometimes the level of greatness that you think you have, other people do not think you have that level of greatness. And whether that be fair or not, it is what it is.
And even kind of to add to that point too, though, I think I said it last week, like when we talked about it initially too, when you somebody who somebody like Wale who may be viewed as like arrogant or cocky and things like that. Also, like people don't always connect with that automatically. Like a lot of times they actually go against that because they like, oh, you think you this good, so it's like it's almost like people love a good underdog story, or they love like the humble person, or they love like like look at J. Cole, like people love like we all fuck with J. Cole, but a lot of people love J. Cole because it's like he come off as super humble and
Oh,
super
they
low
love a good
maintenance
J.
and all
Cole
of
in the
that.
airport picture. They love seeing that nigga go through like regular ass airport shit.
But yeah, so it's like, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like somebody like Wale who is like who was he'll get an interview and say he better than everybody. He'll get he'll do all these things, and I think naturally like people don't connect with that.
Yeah, we're
Like
gonna get
people
into
usually resist against that. To be honest,
no, it's valid. We're gonna get into the actual album itself here. I think with Wale it matters more. I think this conversation goes up with him more because again, all three of us fuck with Wale. All three of us big Wale fans. Will has said multiple times like when you go like that era of like take whoever you want, like Will's picking Wale over most of them, like Drake, Kendrick, Cole, like take your pick. Um, so my last question before we get into the actual track list is looking back on it, do y'all think being on MMG actually like helped or hurt him long term? And some of that to do with again his own personality and the way he kind of clashed, like he clashed with Meek at certain points. Meek was also in theory competition, and Meek got to a higher stardom point quicker than Wale did. And again, Wale kind of looking at everybody, no matter who it is, like I'm better than you. Like why, almost why are you in that spot, and not me? Do you think looking back on it, being with MMG was the best thing for his career?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's something I'm not gonna like. And I get your question. I'm not saying you doing this, but I like that's not something I'm gonna like revisionist history on and make it something that it wasn't. Like him being on MMG was a big deal, number one, and it was great for him for a long time, not
it
just
was
like a
mutually
short
beneficial
period.
though. Like it was,
Yeah,
it was because he had a stretch where he was the MMG hit maker. Like
yeah, fact. So it's like that was a very beneficial thing for everybody. Like that MMG era where it was like one of the bigger labels. That was definitely a big like that was a great time for him for sure.
but I
I
think
agree.
I think also real quick too, like when you look at like the MMG situation, I think even if you look at somebody like a Meek, like Meek, people love Meek initially, and then like when Meek kind of started number one getting on Twitter and talking more, just more shit in general. So whether you want to get into the Twitter finger shit or whether you want to get into something maybe like he started becoming more arrogant and more cocky and things like that, that's when people kind of started to step back from him and like all of a sudden you don't really fuck with me like you used to and things like that.
That's valid.
So I think when because initially when me came out, like he was the dirty nigga from Philly, like as what they perceived, and that's not me saying that, but
No,
you
I
know,
get it. No, 1,000%. The excuse me, is cool too when like again Wale is going to be in that position. By this point, Wale's got great albums. Um, it was probably impossible because what you were dealing with of like, and why I think that era wrapped up the way it did is because like it's gonna be hard to say like you technically out rap either Cole or Kendrick. And so to say like, oh, you just like the best rapper from that era is gonna be tough. Like you cannot like you can make an argument for it, cool, but it's just gonna be hard to say you did. Um, Kendrick obviously has like probably the biggest album as far as a standalone with Good Kid, Mad City. If you're going in just like that rap way, um, and then again Drake took the star power and became the superstar rapper and shit like that. So, and we've said before it was like Will used to, Will would bring it up beforehand where it's like if you think Wale is the 100th best rapper of all time, cool. Do you know how many niggas have tried to rap? Like that still puts you in the 0.01% class. If you like, oh well, he ain't better than like these five dudes. It's like, this nigga's one of the best 100 to 150 rappers to ever do this shit, and that means you in the Hall of Fame for considering how many niggas have attempted to rap. Like, shout out to Will Mixtape
and I
doing
think I mean
2020.
I can understand like with me, even with me being like a big Wale fan, I can understand like how Wale could fall in like the middle for a lot of people, like to where it's like like Tony kind of mentioned, when it comes to like those hit sort of girl songs, it's like you can say, okay, Drake does that better. And then when it comes to rapping, you might say, oh, Cole and Kendrick do that better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like one of those things to where you can kind of get into a situation where you fall into the middle where it's like, you dope, but like I can go listen to this person for this, and I can go listen to this person for that.
That's crazy
Uh,
for a nigga to make Lotus Flower Bomb. Like, I don't know anybody was fucking with, like, I get it, it's the way it played out, but it's like, you made Lotus Flower Bomb, my nigga. Like, you should have been, like, the guy with the Girl Records.
but I think also some people would probably debate that like the R&B parts of those records might have been bigger than the
Artists.
rapping. Yeah,
Nah,
so it's like that's also a thing too.
that's valid as
Like to
fuck.
where when the rapping may not be the highlight of the hit.
And also to that, like to say, okay, he made Lotus Flower Bomb is like, yeah, but at the same time, like Drake had Marvin's Room, Drake had X, Y, and Z. So it was
And
like,
that's Drake though, and that's all Drake. So it's like Drake is the highlight all across the board. So it's like it's times we're on the radio where you may hear Lotus Flower Bomb and you might only hear the hook.
That's true. That's true. This is, like, the end of, like, this is,
Drake was out here, Drake featuring Drake.
that's facts. All right, we do with all these albums. Pit. What's y'all go tos when you listen down about nothing? What's y'all go tos?
having just listened to it, in prep for the shows, like the White Shoe still is still like my joint. The Pessimist still, Girls on Drugs,
Girls on Drugs is fire.
God Smile. Those probably those three specifically are like ones that I used to like go to a lot.
I'm
Yeah, I think
biased.
I had. Yeah, I think I said Need to Know with SZA. I had the Pessimist with Cole, and um, it's a couple because I like the Bloom also, but then I do like the Helium Balloon.
Helium Balloon is a real. That shit still sounds good. Like, when I went to re-listen to it for the show, I was like, Helium Balloon was probably the one that I was like, that felt the best from what I was expecting to hear versus listen to it again. Um, but Pessimist, Need to Know, and then I'm biased, and the Matrimony is definitely, if I got to pick like just like a top three from this shit as far as like go tos, like those are gonna be my three go tos. Excuse me. Where and again, kind of with this album, which is different than what a lot of other artists do. Like, Wale has an actual theme here. We got the mixtape about nothing. Like, we have this Seinfeld theme that has been with him through the majority of his career. And again, this didn't end up coming out with last episode because we ran out of time. But I'll ask again: do y'all feel like because he has a presumably predominantly black audience doing something with Seinfeld, and that being such a big theme, and not only the mixtapes but obviously this album, do you think something like that maybe missed the mark versus a more traditional approach to rap music during that time?
I don't, I don't think so. Just because, like I said last week, I think that who this shit was for was who it was for, as far as like the theme of it all. Because you're essentially following something that's already been done. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you are already tapped in with like Wale's work, then you know what's going on. And like to the Seinfeld of it all, that like the concept in general, like that didn't. I don't think that would have made no difference because it's one of those things. Is like if you like Wale and you never watch Seinfeld, you're like, oh, let me go check this shit out. It's like if you
Mm-hmm.
don't like Wale, you probably wasn't listening to this album anyway, so that don't really matter.
Yeah, and that was kind of a point I made too. Like, if you're a Wale fan and you've been following Wale's music, like this would it makes sense.
I agree. Again, I think some of these matter with him. Again, when you are, I'm gonna sound like an old man. When you're an actual artist like Wale and you put like so much time prep, like you're not just putting out bullshit because you can rap. Like, even when Wale takes his breaks with music, it's he not just putting out shit to rap or to show that he is nicer than y'all and he is nicer than 99% of y'all. It's like he consistently is doing certain themes. Like, he's trying to put out a body of work that means something to him, like an actual project. There's concept, there's designs. There's not just he's not just putting out music to put out music, right? And so I think with him above a lot of other guys, even that are dropping in this time, like, you know, I'm not really trying to take a shot, but it's like Future could just put out a song, right? And it just might be just Future putting out a music song because he got 100 or 1,000 unreleased songs, whatever the fuck it is, and he's putting out some shit to put it out. Wale has never felt like that to me. Like when Wale puts out a song, like there is a plan, there's detail, there's all that shit. I'm not trying to take shots at Future, you know. I'll throw it. Wayne's probably the biggest abuser of it. Nigga just has a shit ton of unreleased stuff, and he just throws some shit out. Where would y'all rank this, or amongst Wale's catalog? Like, how high does this go up for y'all?
I don't know. I'll let Tony go first, but then I guess real quick too. I guess before he go, even if you end up wanting to go first, Justin. I think another thing about Wale, and I think one of the biggest things with him is he, I think he's super creative in the projects that he put together and the songs that he put out. But I think he makes the music that he likes and wants to make, and I think he mad because he gets upset because other people don't like it or don't care for it or don't go looking for it, and it's like, it's kind of one of those. So it's like you're not making stuff, you making, your music, but it's like you wanted to appeal to everybody, but you also are not willing to conform to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's kind of like one of those things. He'd be like, all right, like, do y'all not see what I'm doing here? And they kind of like, yeah, we see it, we just don't give a fuck.
Not valid as hell.
It's not super high on like my Wale albums. I think albums he's made following that have been better, and I think obviously Ambition and The Gifted were better than that. Not counting Attention Deficit. That's like out of my range, but um and I was like his tapes as well, like the Forlorn tape, 1111 tape, like we talk about those. I think those are better. But
11,
like
Yeah.
the album in the time and still like the album still holds up as like a good album. It's not great, like it's not a great album, it's not a great Wale project. It's solid, it has a lot of good records on it. But I do think he's made like better albums before that. I think he made better albums before that, and I definitely think he's made better albums after that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were saying last week too, Justin. I can't remember where. It's hard. It'll be hard for me to like rank all of it because I do like to rank projects and not even just albums because like I was a big fan of like Wale mixtapes, like whether it was the More About Nothing, whether it was Forlorn, 11 is probably one of my favorites from him. That and Forlorn.
For all these guys who have like, I think I agree with you on that.
Wow, that's crazy.
If you don't have like an insane number of mixtapes where like it just gets hard to keep track of everything, I generally do view just like as a project guy. Like Tony would know better than I do. How many mixtapes does Gucci have, Tony?
How many hours you got in a day?
Okay, so
then multiply that by hours in a week.
Gucci don't even know how many mixtapes Gucci got.
So that would be
and
something.
It's definitely like, not it ain't a number niggas that just know off the top of their head.
Not at all.
But that would be like a problem. Then it was like, or not a problem, but that would be an example of like, I'm not going to rank like Gucci projects because like, man, you just got too many. But like versus like Wale, I would probably include his when I'm going like discography. I would go tapes and albums. Drake, I would do it with. Kendrick, I would do it with. Like, if you have a number that's like reasonable, yeah, we'd throw these all into the project bag. But you got like,
yeah,
like got a ton, Future got a ton, Wayne got a ton. Like, I ain't rating all these. Like, I'm just gonna be real here. Like, I ain't doing it. If you got over 50 projects, I'm not ranking.
Well, they got a lot of projects too, though. Like just all together.
No, he do. While they be working, I think when we did, we were kind of going through it to start last week. And Tony probably said it. Tony said it really well. Was like, it is a really good album and it does hold up really well. But then you start looking at some of his other shit and you just like, is it better than this? It's like, is it better than Ambition?
That's what I think. Every time we started going through track lists, I'm like, all right, it ain't better than this. And we started because last week when we were going through those track lists, I'm like, damn, it ain't better than this either.
I guess with that being said, is like, because what's the next project post this? Shine? Do y'all feel like this?
Yeah, first like album. was
Yeah,
Shine.
and I like Shine. I don't know if Shine is like loved.
Nah, Shine. I think Shine kind of flew under the radar, honestly.
And so, do y'all feel like this was like the stalling out period for Wale between like this and Shine? Um, Again, I'm trying to think like what was like be the biggest record off of Shine. Uh,
So I think that because so I think I think the album about nothing was like something that he really wanted to do, and I think that maybe not being received the way that he wanted it to be received definitely kind of made him take a step back.
not as valid. The
Mm.
I think again the point you made about like just like if you want to is one thing if you want to put out like the music you want to hear and you want to present it in this certain way, but then if it doesn't hit with everybody, like it just doesn't hit, and you kind of got to just live with that. Um, is this more about nothing? What would be?
I
See
think it was
this?
Shine.
It
Then what
was
was it? Wow,
Shine,
that's
Wow, That's
crazy.
Crazy, and then Forlorn too. So those have been his studio albums after album About Nothing. Summer on Sunset dropped in 2016, but that was a mixtape. You could get that anywhere for free.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Do we think it's better than? I I guess with Out About Nothing. Do we think it's better than Shine?
Not to me.
I agree. I love Shine, but I probably overrate Shine
It's
personally.
probably a better like album, but I don't think it has better songs on it than Shine.
I might lean Shine.
I'm not. I'll I'll throw it up there as a question. I'm just not going to debate it. Better than Wow, that's crazy.
Hell
Wow, that's
no.
crazy. It's true because wow, that's crazy. He gave you like it ain't better. Like it ain't like I think with
Wow,
wow, that's crazy. He
Wow
kind of
That's
he
Crazy is is so underrated of an album.
Yeah, Wow, that's. See, I'm not. I think Wow, that's crazy is easily better than Out About Nothing. For Lauren too.
Forlorn 2 to me is his best album since Gifted.
wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Probably got like it's probably some songs on wow, that's crazy that like he got a few songs on wow, that's crazy to where it's like no song on the album about nothing can touch for real.
So this is a compliment. So then, are we saying okay? So then, are we saying Album About and this is a compliment. I just don't. It's going to sound wild when I first say it. Are we saying Album About Nothing then is his worst album? Just albums.
His
Mhm.
worst studio to me it is just because like I said I just think the other projects are better like from a musical standpoint songs like the concept of it is one of his better concepts for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
just when you talk about the getting into the ones and twos of it, like if there's just better music on other albums.
No, I agree. And why I say I wanted to, it's like it is a compliment. Is if the album About Nothing is your worst album, like that's the worst project you put out to the public, you are really fucking good at this rap shit. You are really good at this music shit. Because there's a lot of niggas who put out way worse. And it's considered like higher in their discography than something like the album About Nothing being Wale's worst project. That's what I mean. I'm like, it is a compliment. It just sounds kind of fucked up. So I'm like, yo, this your worst shit, but your worst shit would be better than a lot of niggas' best shit. That a fair take, Will? You the president of the Wale Club over here? I just want to make sure I don't get my
I
lights
don't think
muddy.
I'm the president of Wale Club. I fuck with Wale though. I don't know if I'm the president of the club, but I mean, no, I think that's definitely like I mean, but you could say that. We just talked about how many rappers it is, like how many niggas that tried to rap. It's like it's a lot of niggas whose best shit is, or whose worst shit is better than a lot of niggas' best shit.
And to the album About Nothing is like this is an album that still has like I said the matrimony, it still has the body with Jeremiah. And him and Jeremiah have great chemistry.
It's
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Need
you
to
look
know with
at
SZA.
just like the rapping records as far as like the white shoes or God's smile or the glass egg, like that versatility is just not available to everybody.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to possess it on projects that may not be your best, it still speaks to how great of an artist he is and how he really he really won't be appreciated for just a long time down the road. And there's guys and eras before us, before we were, like um consciously really listening to rap and understanding what's going on. Is like, I'm sure there's plenty of artists in those periods of times where they're much more appreciated now, probably by like guys our age than they were then. So he'll be the same, and every era has those guys where it's like yeah, he was a guy, in our time, but in the next phase of this rap shit, they gonna be like, damn, he wasn't like the biggest guy.
No, that's a fact. And
Who you
and
feel
again,
like who? Oh, go ahead, Justin.
I was saying, and when you look back at it, you're gonna look at just like, and this happens to everybody. Like when you always go to someone's big records when you look back on them, like no matter who it is. And Wale has huge fucking records. Like not just like, oh, he got hits. Like no, that nigga has whatever word you want to define, like smash, like what, like he's got those kind of records in his discography that he's gonna be able to. I mean, honestly, like he probably got more big hits than Cole.
I don't know.
I don't know about that,
It's,
but sure. He
well, he
definitely
got
got
some.
bigger hits than Cole. I'm not even going to like act like he do. Like he don't, but he got plenty of hits for sure.
You getting the numbers?
Because like bigger records, meaning that like number wise and culturally they're bigger, and
Well, I don't
he
think he
don't
said.
have
I
those
don't
over
think he
Cole.
said he got. I don't think he said he has bigger hits. I think he was saying more so like he got more hits. Maybe not like not saying that
He don't
Wale's
even got.
biggest hit
I
ain't
don't even
bigger
think he
than.
got more hits than Cole though.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
see
know.
what.
But I'm saying I think he was he wasn't saying like Cole. I mean, I don't think he was saying Wale has like bigger hits than Cole. I think he was just saying like
No,
he
so I
has
would.
more. But I don't know.
No, so I think Cole has more in terms of totality. I think Wale's biggest hits being shit like Lotus Flower Bomb, Bad. I'm just going through my list here real quick.
Bad is bad the biggest one.
I would say Lotus Flower Bomb is probably the biggest
Bad
one.
can't be his biggest record because then it's definitely not like it's
No,
definitely not
yeah,
over
no, I'm not
Cole.
saying
I'm just saying because it got Rihanna on it. So I'm wondering like numbers
that
wise.
helps,
So
but nah. Like that don't that's a point. Like when you stacking like what you did, like that's a point. But um,
Wale don't got Wale don't got two bigger records than Wet Dreams and No Role Models.
see, no role models is the tough one. And again, like Lotus Flower Bomb to me would be it's either that I'm probably gonna say it is his number one. Um, and I think that's a toss up. And I love No Role Models more than I love Lotus Flower Bomb. But I think if you just put like a room of 1,000 people and you get a bunch of different demographics in there, so you get girls, guys, young niggas, old niggas, etc. Like you get everybody kind of rolled up in there. Like the reaction you would get, Lotus Flower Bomb is giving a lot of records a run for their money. Um, Will you was gonna
Compared to what?
to No Role Models, and they both
No,
fire.
I'm
Like I'm
saying
not even.
hell no. All right,
Um,
this going to go somewhere else. And
well,
this is about
this nigga
paying
tried to put
homage to Wale.
this nigga tried to put me at the as the president of the fans club, and he debated dumb shit.
hey man, look. Hey man, look.
Shout out
Um,
to my nigga Ralph.
you was gonna say something before I started that. Well, I don't know if you remembered or not.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So when Tony, you was kind of talking about like every era is gonna have people like Wale, like kind of in hindsight, or like when people look back down the line and say like, damn, he wasn't the biggest artist or something like that. Who do you feel
hmm
like that person of the previous era?
Uh, who can I look back on in that way? For Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
I was another suggestion, and that's because, and this is gonna sound nuts, because dude was definitely like a star when he was there, but I feel like he's even remembered more fondly. Is like, I feel like the last couple years, like early Jewels has been propped up even more than like he was appreciated in real time, and that's probably
Oh
not a good
hell no.
answer for this
Jewels will never
question.
be appreciated again how he was in real time.
Uh,
They was talking about Jewels and Lil Wayne. Like it's those two. That's it.
Niggas will never have those conversations today.
Ever. the real life like praise of Joel Santana could never be replicated again.
All right. All right.
What? And I know we talk about him a lot. Would Kiss fall into like that category? Not even. I'm
That's a
like
good one. That's a good
Kiss
one right
because
there.
it's like you talking about somebody who was like everybody knew he was dope, but it was like I think now like I mean even the way we talk about him though is like the niggas
Kiss is
that
a good
was
one for sure.
the niggas that was adults like when we was kids and shit like that like when Kiss was kind of at his peak they was like
Like
oh
Kiss
yeah
was
Kiss
cold,
is
but he
dope but
wasn't
he
like a
wasn't yeah
superstar.
he wasn't over and it's like we be looking at Kiss like who was better than this nigga.
Fact.
That's
That's a
That's like
fact.
Kiss is probably the perfect example though to like really because it's like we look
that's
at
all
that
the New
nigga
York
like who the
niggas
fuck
though. Like if you take because New York has been dominated
that
by
ain't all
like
the New York niggas.
No, that's not all of them.
Shout out to them.
it's not. Let me rephrase that. It's all the New York niggas who you think make really good music because New York has always been dominated in a way by like a singular or by a singular superstar during certain points of time where like everybody's gonna almost fall into that because like
Cause
you ain't
but I
gonna
feel
have
like I feel like a nigga like Fab, like and I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago how I've been like on a Fab kind of like a Fab kick lately, and I was like, oh, this nigga was fire, but I don't ever listen to Fab and be like, who's better than this nigga? Like
no, but
I
they
listen
different
to
kind of
Fab.
rappers. They're not even making the same kind of music. Like
And Fab was as big as Fab should have been.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what
I
I'm
don't think
saying.
Fab
Like I
was
think,
downplayed.
It's
Like
like to
Fab was a
Wale,
but
we
star.
may not think he's been as big as he probably should be. And like Kiss, like Will said, like Kiss was the perfect example to that. It's like it's not a lot of guys in that way, but there are certain guys where it's like during their eras, they're not as big as you go a few years later, you're like, damn, they probably should have been bigger than they were.
who else would you put in that Justin from New York? Then, like if you feel like it's so many.
So it's I'm not gonna run down a bunch of New York niggas just because I'm not
No, no, I'm just saying
but
like you ain't got to give me just give me one or two. I guess if you got one or two that you feel like in your opinion. Because now automatically you're gonna be thinking like, all right, man, who could I throw in like that Kiss category? Like it's like, all right, who because
see
now
Kiss
they
is a high
automatically
bar
get
though because if you going for Kiss for like the fact, I just don't think a lot of niggas rap as well as Kiss. But I also think Kiss was probably I don't want to undersell because to me like I don't think the Locks you would say that what's the Locks is one of the biggest groups in hip hop history. And so I think that has to go with Kiss, where it's like, yeah, maybe as a solo act, Kiss wasn't as big as we felt like he should have been. But I don't think because you have to include the Locks in his career and the way people perceived him.
the locks wasn't as big as they should have
Even
been.
the I was about to say, even the
Like
locks
the lot,
wasn't.
like you got to think like it's only because of like the only reason they get the praise they
Take away
do.
that
That's what I
verses,
was
the
gonna say.
locks probably still don't get the respect that
The
they
only
deserve.
the only only reason it seemed like they do is because like you can't name other like it ain't that number one it ain't that many rap groups like it's a lot of them but it's like when you thinking about like just some of those bigger rap groups it ain't that many and once you start naming them it's like they not bigger than the locks like I mean Dipset was viewed as like
No, you got
bigger than the
Dipset.
locks like Dipset was bigger than the locks.
Well, during that like that time frame, it's like Outkast is obviously kind of in their own lane as far as if you want to go like super groups, right? Like Outkast is probably at the top of the list.
Outcast not better than the locks either.
No, I'm
But
not saying they better than them. I'm saying like if you want to take recognition, star power, like you wasn't like that was the group, right? Is that fair to say?
I would say Wu Tang, but I get you.
Wu Tang's up there as well. Um,
No, for sure.
like
But that's why like it's not a lot of rap groups so it's easy to feel like everybody got they just do because it's not a lot but it's like the locks wasn't that big especially here like in the Midwest, like I don't feel like the locks was like that big at all.
no, so if you want to do, so maybe that's I'm interpreting this wrong because the internet takes away a lot of regional stuff. If we going back to like just regionally, who never really like broke out of their region probably or as much as they should have. Okay, then I'm rolling with that. Um, and I guess how deep do you want to go on this list? Because like I would say
I guess give us a West who like I guess what you being from the West Coast, who do you feel like is somebody maybe on the West Coast that you feel like should have been
It's more
bigger?
appreciated now than they were then.
oh, I mean, if we doing currently, now he's gotten more love recently, but I think Schoolboy. I think Schoolboy, because of running behind Kendrick, should have been considered a bigger artist, should have been more popular. But when a nigga in your own clique is doing what he's doing at the start of their careers, I think both Schoolboy and J Rock got pushed to the side, like in ways that were, and I don't think not even like in a hating way, because they all
We
got
not
cool
going.
shit,
We not going. I don't think we. I think we just got different ideas of what the question is.
as far as like niggas,
Because
you don't
Schoolboy
think like,
Q is as big as he should have been for what
Yeah,
he's
like it,
released.
what
I ain't
about
never
J Rock?
listened to Schoolboy Q.
J Rock too. Like J Rock was
Yeah,
Grammy nominated. Like, I mean, like guys, when we talk about Wale, for Wale to have made the quality of music that he's made and to have the success, it still has not been recognized. That's the thing. These guys have been recognized for the success and for the music they've made. Wale, for the music he's made and the success, when we talk about like plaques and certifications, he has not been recognized for that, for his accomplishments.
Okay, I'm gonna throw then and if to help me better understand the premise, then is, do you think someone like Sean also falls into that same era, has hits, but probably isn't? I don't know
I
what
don't
the
think Sean's made the quality of music of Wale
I think Sean is another one. He got what he was supposed to get. I feel like.
thus far, at least, because Sean's still going credit to him.
Yeah,
But
so not
he's
saying like he shouldn't get any more,
he
but like
shouldn't
it
be
had to be
though. That
based on
last
what he
album was.
does.
I like Sean, but that last album you could stay at home with your kid, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you ain't said that we just went through Wale albums and ain't nobody felt like, oh, that last album you should have left that where it was at. But
I'm gonna come back to this because I think it's
there's not many for sure,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
there are
It's
those
not a lot of them.
guys. There are those guys.
because I guess okay then I guess I would ask to be fair here, because obviously we got people that we fuck with probably more than maybe the general public does. Is what do you feel like, I guess, if Kiss is our example, what do you think Kiss's level should have been? Like if you were to say, yo, if he was fully recognized for as dope as he was, as great as he was, where should he have fit in the pecking order?
For the level of rapping now, for the level of rapping Kiss has, plus like the street shit and all of that, he would be in a he would be in comparison to a place where like Meek was at. Like Kiss would have had the number one album. He would have went 250 or 200,000 in a week. When record
He would have
sales
been
mattered and shit like that.
so like in his era, like when we
Like
talked about a big three, Meek was never.
we gonna make it would have been like a top three record in the country type shit
Yeah.
in
So it's like
comparison to like the time.
so it's like all right, like when we talk about like the big three now, like or even when we did a few years ago, it was like Meek was always debated to be like in that top five, and I don't think back in his era, Kiss never got that recognition. But it's like if Kiss got the recognition he deserved, he would have been debated to be top five, top, golly. He would have been in conversations as far as being top five.
Like
Like he had to tell you he was top five.
Kiss the Game Goodbye would be talked about as like an all-time debut if he got the credit. Like a record and obviously like times were different. Like I said, record sales and shit like that is like different. But like that's an album that has Knock Yourself Out by Pharrell. That's the album that has We Gonna Make It. Plus just that's the album that got Put Your Hands Up. Like plus just him, all the other tracks where he's just rapping. And that would have just been like a bigger thing.
Okay, now do you think some of that is though like the style of music someone makes? So, and I'll throw that out where like I think someone like Push should get more credit. I also know when all you do is rap about coke, that is going to limit. That's just going to naturally limit, and not that that's all that Push raps about, but like that's the stigma around him, and that's going to naturally kind of cap you at a certain point. But do you feel like someone like Push would fit that criteria?
No, because to that, Push has had the success Push should have had. Like it's like Push hasn't had a career where it's like, damn, Push is underrated. Like everybody know Push cold. And Push hasn't had the career where it's like Push ain't that good. Like you know what I mean? Like niggas ain't like, oh, he ain't that good. Like
Like
other than Jim Jones.
I don't
Other than Jim
think
Jones.
so.
Niggas
I
ain't
don't think like 15 years from now, like if verses was a thing and Push was to do a verses, like I don't think niggas would be like, oh shit, like I didn't know he did this. versus like with the Locks and Jada Kiss, like when they did that when Kiss did that first verses against Fab and watched him, then the Locks did the verses against Dipset and watched it was like niggas was like, oh my god, like who is these niggas? Like that was the reaction. Like niggas thought some of those freestyles Kiss was up there spitting was new. They was like, oh shit.
That's a fact.
Like
Because I
niggas
know niggas
thought
heard that
niggas thought
Hushasha freestyle. I was like,
oh they
damn, I
said
remember this from 2010. And niggas
niggas
like, damn,
niggas
when
was
the
in the niggas was on Twitter talking about what he say he's a dick you pussy y'all neighbors. All I see was down to like oh man Jada Kiss new freestyle like what where was y'all niggas at?
this shit came out on a what was
So
my
like I
son
don't
name on
think
a
what'd you say?
no, I was saying this shit came out on a Scoob Doo
Oh,
DVD
shout
back
out to
in
School Bill.
2010.
But that's what I'm so it's like I don't think like 15 years from now like if like Pusha was to do a versus niggas would be like who the fuck is this? Like I don't think like or even a Big Sean, like 20 years from now, like he do a verse, they be like, oh man, this might have been the best nigga ever.
Now,
Like
Justin, to that to what you said about Push, I do think that has where we're at currently that has applied to the clips. I do think the clips now
Mm-hmm.
have gotten more like respect and credit and love than they did then, and they were praised then, but it was a lot of ringtone rap and shit like that
hmm
flooding the market, so it wasn't as respected outside of like quote unquote purist niggas. But now I think that when the next Clips album drops, that'll be like a much bigger thing amongst mainstream than it was then. And obviously a lot plays into that, but the
Mm-hmm.
credit, the talent is for sure at the forefront.
And I guess too it depends, and maybe this is just like my own viewpoint on it is like where you think someone should land, right? Is like because I would probably have a harder time, like even with someone like Wale, where I've even um, like I view Wale as top five from his era, and so for me, that kind of inflates with like what I think he's doing because I'm not. Will's kind of a great person to throw this off on because there's times like shit happens and Will just isn't on Twitter, and so he'll totally miss like some shit that goes on. And he's just like, nigga, I was at work, I was with my kids doing actual life shit, and so it's like he doesn't have like the pulse quote unquote of what like the internet of people are talking about. He's only got his own opinion. And so with Wale, it's probably a lot of that applies. And with some of these guys, I'm trying to think of them like, I might have you in a certain spot, and because of that, it's going to directly affect of like, okay, how big should you be? And I might not have like a real feel for how the masses actually feel about it. Like I would thought someone, and I don't even know if y'all really ever even listened to him. Like to me, like I think Tech Nine has gotten more love the longer into his career, and he's kind of like the poster child for like independent artists. How much success can you have? All this other shit, and he was doing weird stuff back when he was at his quote unquote biggest. But he's gotten more mainstream love post. Hell, go back to when Wayne had him on the Carter Four, and it was even though it was just an interlude, it was like this is a bigger.
He was on the
audience
Carter
now.
4, wasn't
Yeah, and like he
Forgot
says in
about
the
that.
verse, he's like, "Yo, thank you, because this is a way like you Wayne, I'm Tech Nine, like this is a way bigger platform and amount of people that I really get to listen to me." But again, it's like some people tell you, and there's some facts for it. Like Tech is the most successful independent artist ever. So it's like, did you reach the success you were supposed to? Probably, but I think if you like, I fuck with Tech Nine heavy. So I'm like, I think he should be even bigger. And I guess that's where in my mind I'm trying to like understand where my disconnect with the question probably comes from is like, how do you view someone
but I
like that?
think yeah, because I think somebody like Tech Nine, like you said, he was kind of awkward. He did like weird shit, and not awkward. Not when I say awkward, I don't mean like him personally. I'm just saying like maybe his style of making music and things like that. So it's like he would have been hard to market. So it's like going. I think he was as big as he was supposed to be independently, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he would have gotten as big trying to be anything other than that. But
And
like even to the point of like Wayne having him on an album, or even when we talk about Jada Kiss and Wale, like the niggas at the top know who the other niggas is. Like,
oh
so
yeah,
it's like Wayne knew Tech Nine was like one of them niggas. Or like, other artists today, they know like rapping wise, they know Wale is one of them niggas. And niggas back in the day, they knew Kiss was like one of them niggas, even though even though like we feel like, and a lot of people may feel like Kiss didn't get the recognition he deserved.
Also, to kind of close that before going on to the next one is I'll ask Will, for a guy you and I both think highly of, is like, where does Royce fit in this?
I think Royce probably gets like the success he should have, like for because it's like he don't have like, it ain't like he got like hits or anything like that. Like he haven't put out anything really mainstream wise as far as songs. I think Royce gets the respect that he deserves from the rappers, and it's like I don't see him as trying to be anything more than like a rapper's rapper.
No, that's valid. Um,
Like I don't think he's dropped anything where it was like he was trying to appeal to anything outside of who he's been appealing to, like throughout his career.
no, that's valid. Uh, what y'all think looked more fire, the Freakoff food or the funeral food?
Funeral food. I ain't eating no food at the Freakoff first off.
I didn't know they had food at the Freakoff. That was like the most informative thing about that video. I was like, damn, I get why y'all be doing this shit. Y'all be saying y'all be saying run the trains, run the bukkake videos. Y'all say, yo, the more the merrier, bring more food out.
That's crazy.
Shit, like why did she?
Why do people post
First
that?
of all, what video? I don't even know what video we talking about.
Well, that if you believe her, there's probably a couple that spawned from it. But the video that originally,
I, describing it don't do it justice. Honestly, it really don't. And
Who talked? Who was it? Who said something about it? Like we could pull it up. Like we could pull it up and play it. I don't know if it's in the group chat somewhere.
it should be. It
I
should
must
be.
have missed this.
I'm gonna go.
Let me see if I could go back in my real quick. Because describing that the insane video that it was does not do it justice.
Yeah, if you like put it back in there or make me see it, I can pull it up.
Let me see.
If I can find it here.
Yeah, here we go. I found it. Here it is.
It's an Instagram or Twitter.
It's a Twitter vid. It's a Twitter vid. I just put it back up in there.
Let me see here. What's the name of the tweet? Because I can screen pull it and pull it up. What they call that shit?
I think he's watching it now. Yeah, so we'll give him a few minutes. We'll give him a few minutes to watch because it's not that long. I think it's about 2 minutes and some change, 3 minutes maybe. Yeah, that's an insane video. Funeral food is definitely better for sure.
You said the Freakoff food?
No, fuck no. I said the funeral food. The funeral food is definitely better for sure. For sure.
Nigga said, "Yo, it's so good. I forgot who I fucked." I was like, "Yo, what the?" When I first saw it, it was hilarious because it was like it's just this modest ass video when you just see a lady on an airplane and it's like, or no, like she in her bedroom or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to Houston," and it's like, "Okay, bitch, you going to Houston?" Like, and like mad people go to Houston, and I don't even know like. Oh, we gotta. Oh shit! I need this breakdown. Hold up. Oh, wait, come on now. There you go.
Watched it when you sent it in there.
Yeah. And so she started that shit. She's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to Houston," and she like casual, like calm as fuck, like normal. And I'm like, "Why is this video trending?" Because by the time I saw it, it already had however many thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of retweets and shit like that. And she just kept going, and she was like, "Oh, and this is my friend, and we doing this, and this is my other one, and we doing this." And then she get back to the hotel room. She got two of them, and she's like, she looked at that nigga like, "Yo, you tired?" Like, the amount of, I typed in Houston on Twitter, and these niggas got me in the fucking college basketball championship. It's the wrong Houston. The amount, hey bro, Will, did you get to see it?
No, I actually seen it originally. I'm just trying to get it to where I can pull it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that shit was, man, look. People gotta stop posting, like, everything on Twitter. Like, if you going to get fucked, cool. You going to get fucked by a lot of people? Cool. Do you live your life? Have fun. Have a blast. The internet and the world don't need that. It was good time. It was good laugh though. I'll give it that.
Hey man. So for the uninitiated, this white woman posted on the internet this week about her going to a quote unquote swingers event in Houston. Now, I ain't no genius and shit, but I do know that to qualify as a swingers thing, it has to be couple on couples. This was just a big ass orgy she attended.
That's
Now, that is one thing to do. That's one thing. To have the buffet of Mexican cuisine at the orgy fest.
But what is the orgy food? Like, what's supposed to be on the menu if you're going to the orgy? What's supposed to be the menu?
All finger foods is crazy.
Anything not Mexican, I'd imagine. Ain't nobody ever ate Latino cuisine and not had the crazy bubble guts after. And that's Houston, so I know that's like you know what I'm saying, official tissue.
That's
like that probably was catered from a food truck.
Hey yo, that shit is. You gotta have.
She put the fucking. What's like a big Mexican dish?
I mean, you got mole. You got obviously like anything with carne asada. Whether you're doing
Eating mole at the Freakoff is crazy.
It would be.
She put all this up in her before taking on fucking 2 NBA players. Like,
can you see the reaction screen, Justin?
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up right now. Oh shit.
Okay. I just want to make sure to catch it and then I'll start it. Y'all just gotta let me know that y'all can hear it for sure.
Goes up at 3. I'm to head to Houston for a swingers party. The emoji is crazy.
The yawn emoji is crazy.
Alright, I got it. Tony, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, let me know if y'all can hear it.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Just chilling until the party start.
Shuttle is crazy. Shuttle it to the Freakoff is crazy.
We can just
What is this? The slave trade?
time out for a second. Time out. How you gonna say like?
Is he more freaked out? Is he more freaked out than the people actually there?
This the Great American Slave Trade. Talking about we picked our guys.
That's what I'm saying.
This random guy walked in and pretended he was the official event photographer. Like, what you mean? Everybody here is a random guy.
Hey, nigga said I'm thinking. Hey, hold up. Where my camera's at? Hold up. What I got there? Hold up. Where the fuck my camera at? Oh shit.
Eating tacos before some action-packed fun is diabolical.
I pulled this shit.
Hey, nigga.
He said, "I'm ready when y'all are."
Oh man, he was running
Event photographer. Having a photographer for the Freak Fest is great.
Nigga walked in and said, "I'm a freelance gynecologist, ladies."
Official event photographer is crazy. Like y'all got this nigga film pornos. This nigga, these niggas called Jada Fire cameraman talking about the event photographer. Like, nah, this is his career. His career is filming people fucking. All right, I'm about to play.
Because niggas don't just shoot the freak parties and then go shoot a graduation. That ain't really. It
ain't the same photographer for the baby shower.
That ain't how that works.
Pulling up.
He got a specific set of skills. All right.
Like, my nigga, why you recording a baby shower on your stomach? What angle is this?
That shit is crazy. All right, let's go.
Two plates.
Ain't no. I'm not putting sour cream on nothing. First of all, that's not happening. If you think I'm using the sour cream at a Freakoff, first of all, if you think I'm eating any, like, nah, That's not
The
funny.
the food is the crazy part. I mean, the food is just open. Like it's just
And you
there.
think I'm just gonna assume everything roofie.
Every everybody ass naked in here, stuff
Sweating and
touching
shit.
stuff, and the food just open.
This man
Like a
drunk a little
nigga
bit.
pulling out mid stroke to go grab a spoonful of rice or some shit. Like this shit is crazy.
Nigga, ask you, do you want something? While you in there with two other people, y'all want
Yeah.
anything?
What you say? He waiting in line for the train eating a motherfucking taquito or some shit.
That nigga got to plate of yellow rice and beef. Talking about, let me know when y'all finish.
Hey, when his turn come up, he tell the nigga behind, hey, hold this.
He hurry up, start eating the shit off spit.
Yeah, he see he's coming up, he eat fast as shit. Golly. So I wish I could. I don't even know how to rewind this shit on here because I was gonna say I want to see, so we can break down this what all they got on the menu.
The spread.
What that is? Steak and onions?
Hey, bro, that shit is
Steak and onions. Steak tips and onions at the Freak Fest.
Grilled chicken and onions.
It's too many onions. It's too many onions
Yes.
and all these people fucking.
She brought them niggas back.
She in there with Jalen Hurts and motherfucking.
Hey, go to roblifestyle.com for event details.
For event details.
That's crazy.
What's the event detail for the Freakoff? Like,
What details? Pull up the fuck.
Was she the average milk in this house, or was it different milk?
She might be top 10 milk.
Ooh.
She might be top 10 milk in that house.
Hey,
and for niggas, which I don't think she is. I ain't really been paying a whole bunch of attention. She looked like she's snagging too. Like just from this like skill shot right here.
Somebody in the comments saying she looked dead inside is unnecessary. That's
the comments be crazy.
Tiger Woods certified.
And Diddy is locked up for swinging / freak-offs. Be careful out there.
Right. That's what Diddy
locked
up for.
I was gonna say that's what he locked up for. What the fuck is Krishan doing in these comments though?
What the fuck?
Oh man, let's see.
It was a blast.
Look, these niggas eat tacos, now they speak Spanish. She should be calling.
That nigga said it was cool. It was cool.
Nah, hold up, say.
I want to get back. I want
3 a.m. Bro, how early? Like, how early can your day start to go to something like that? Like up at 3.
No limit, brother.
Them niggas in the... That's like John
I'm trying to get
Moran
back to the. I'm trying to get back to the dinner table.
The party house was beautiful, by the way.
That ain't no house. That's a motherfucking motel.
The party house was beautiful, just so you know. Big room with 10 beds.
Is crazy.
Where the fun stuff happened.
In the AMP house or some shit.
Running the orgy in the on a twin mattress is tough.
Why? It looked like they just had twin mattresses put together.
This is the best part. Like,
they had about 20 twin mattresses put together.
These niggas, yo. Oh, they got chips.
So you got chips over there.
You got some.
They got the pico over there.
What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know if that's lettuce or is that avocado. I don't know if that looks like might be lettuce. I don't know.
No, that's definitely
jalapeno peppers is crazy.
The onion.
They was going crazy on that rice.
They was going crazy on the rice. I guess they said that was the least messy before they got to business. They was dogging a steak out too.
God, that shit is.
I'm sitting there with them two niggas. After getting her life change was very funny.
They said, "How many you have?" 2. You had a good day. Like asking niggas like just common ass questions like after like, bro, look.
Asking Shamar Moore and
Hey, no, speaking of that, I saw some real racism yesterday. I went to
You laughing too much to say you saw some racism.
No, but it's normally not like this flagrant, at least where I live. And I went to the liquor store literally literally next door, right? There's our complex, liquor store's next door. And dudes there, Middle Eastern, but they've always been cool. I'm in there. I grab my shit. Dude in front of me is like, "Yo, I'm paying this cash and this on the card." Nigga looks him dead in his face, like even like not even a second thought. And he's like, "Oh, we don't accept EBT." And I'm like, "My nigga didn't say anything but EBT. He said I'm paying this with cash and this with card." And you went straight. I was like, "Hold up." I'm like,
that nigga said no food stamps here, Tyrone.
I do got 2 more videos for us to react to.
Hey, pull them up.
One of them I don't know. I can't remember if it got sent to the group chat or not. I think one of them definitely. Well, I think one of them did. It's a chance both of them might have. One of them is old, but it's like this is some shit I die laughing at every time I see it. So let me see.
Real quick. All right. Let me know when you're ready, and then after this, probably I gotta head out. Let's see here.
No, that's cool. Let me know when y'all can see it.
You can see it, Tony?
Yeah.
You can see it, Justin?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm this is one, but I'm gonna do this one second. And this other one.
Right. Okay.
I swear every time I see that clip, I die. I said this nigga lost his mind.
That nigga talk like his tongue sound too heavy to even.
He knew he was trying to figure out the best way to say some crazy shit.
That nigga said, if I say shut up, you think it's wise to keep talking. That's shit. Like I'm just gonna assume you're abusive. Like that, you just say some certain shit, like. Or I'm just gonna assume you was hitting your partner.
That's some wild shit to say.
That nigga was mad as hell. He got his hand up too. He was like, "Bitch, I said shut up."
He said, "If I tell you to shut up and you keep talking."
Hey, that shit right out of a McCain video.
All right, we gotta look at this one real quick, and we gonna wrap.
Chillings at the diner is crazy.
So, chillings in the diner is crazy, but the fact that it took for them to get to Donkey's teeth for her to say something. I'm like, you should have. First of all, you should have stopped this nigga at chillings, but then to follow the chillings up with deep fried ham hocks is crazy.
Pig feet.
You niggas funny as hell, man.
If I'm at any
He threw
restaurant,
pig feet out like it was the big joker.
if I'm at any restaurant that sells chitlins, I'm too deep in the South. Get me the fuck back up north.
I said when he said possum spine, I thought about the nigga on the Panthers. What's his name? Xavier Leggett.
Hey, bro, no, Xavier's hilarious. Because that nigga is
He
like,
said possum spine.
you could tell he is actually himself. Just himself should not be a person on camera. But like that nigga's funny as fuck.
Before we go, we all got Shay winning MVP.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't do the awards. Oh my bad. I got 5 minutes. Let's wrap it up. We do. Yeah, I got Shea for MVP. Shout out to Jokic for averaging triple double. Nigga, we've seen it before. With
Coach of the year, I got Kenny Atkinson.
That's who I got also.
Same. Although, well, man, I wonder if they're gonna give it to him.
It's funny because it probably should be JB.
I was just about to say, I'm like, yo, the Pistons was not supposed to be good. Like,
it probably should be JB. But I think it'd be Kenny Atkinson. But the funny part about that is JB only got that job because the niggas Kenny Atkinson coach didn't like him.
That's how the world goes sometimes. Defensive player of the year.
The podcast nigga. Should be Dyson Daniels. Should be Dyson Daniels, but it'll be the nigga with the microphone and shit.
I think Draymond will. Man, if Draymond win that, Draymond need to be studied for. That's the greatest scheme of all time. To like scheme that nigga the defensive player of the year to last like 3 weeks.
Control the narrative. when you get on this podcast every day and control the narrative.
And B just won MVP off of this like 2 years ago, so I ain't surprised.
I'm doing nothing but slandering Draymond all week. That's all hard foul is this next week. I'm just slandering Draymond. I'm gonna go find
talking
some
about
shit,
all week.
Like,
if Draymond Green ain't got no haters, I'm not on this earth no more.
Like, I'm just, man. Look, I would give it to Evan Mobley. Dyson's had a crazy year, but like, again, the Cavs got to win some kind of awards for the amount of games they won. Like, most improved. I'm just curious.
I got Dyson Daniels for most improved.
I'm just curious if he's gonna give it to the first overall pick.
It's going to be Cade.
That's what I'm like. I hate
it's
that.
just going to be Cade.
I'm like, bro, first overall pick should make you like eliminated from that award. Like, my nigga, you was supposed to be great. Like, you. And again, respect to what Cade's done, but like, you shouldn't be in the most improved. I'm not mad at Dyson as a pick. Again, I wrote down Cade because I think that's where it's gonna go. I wouldn't give it to him personally. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to James Harden. Fuck it. I thought that he was gonna be our ass this year, so you improved from what I thought he was gonna be. 6 man.
What if they gave it to a nigga like James Harden? Like, not saying that what happened, but a nigga who was like that nigga there, and people kind of viewed him as falling off, but then he have like another up year, and it's like, oh shit, like say Bradley Beal lead the Suns and average 30 again.
I can't say he don't deserve it, to be honest.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
say he don't deserve it.
We need that's what we're gonna do. Next we're gonna hit niggas with the damn you not watched yet award. That's gonna be the new next team. Like, damn, nigga, we thought you was gonna be ass by now.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, we might have to put that down for next week. That'll be fun.
Last one. Who would be the funniest like nigga to have like a playoff run?
Oh, James Harden.
Why is that funny?
That's the funniest one.
So there's two types.
The funniest nigga to have a playoff run.
The funniest nigga to have a playoff run is Ja, hands down.
Okay.
Well, I would say either John or Anthony Davis.
AD not bad.
Davis would be very funny.
Like with Kyrie being hurt and like they playing for that, they competing for that final play-in spot.
No, it's gotta be Ant's gotta be up there. Them niggas chant child support at the free throw line.
Nah, that nigga was in the Western Conference Finals last year.
I know, but could you imagine ABC? Them niggas got to cut the mics every time he at the free throw line.
You think they
They
cutting
ain't
the
gonna
mics
cut the mics
for
off for
child
no child
support?
support. They're not doing that shit.
Them niggas,
You got the game
They was-
fucked up.
bro, they gonna be worse than child support by then. Niggas gonna be counting out numbers. Niggas gonna be hitting them with the 1.8, 1.8.
No,
You for-
he got it.
You
Shit,
forget
that-
you forget the niggas with like the most terriblest crimes that was playing like regularly.
What the NBA gonna do if Kyle Kuzma end up in the NBA Finals?
What I'm gonna do if Kyle Kuzma end up in the NBA Finals? That's what you need to be asking yourself.
They say he don't play for the Celtics.
If Kyle Kuzma, yeah, man.
The Celtics losing to Kyle Kuzma, y'all might not hear from me for a long time.
Ja's good. Ja's tough to top. Kawhi's always funny because that nigga just don't like to talk. So anytime they try to get like coverage around him, that nigga go fucking full Marshawn Lynch. Like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Kawhi making another finals run would start a lot of narrative talk
That's
about me.
What's gonna be your lead narrative?
It's a lot of niggas falling down some lists.
Kawhi better than Durant. He get to the finals again.
I don't think I got that high to take, but I could be talked into it probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna really be hard to like debate niggas who want to make that argument though. Because two of them, like you got two of them, he was the guy. Like, and I mean, he won the Finals MVP on the one that he wasn't. You know, he was young Kawhi. He won that just off defending LeBron. But if he get another, if he take another team and win another Finals MVP, and it's like James Harden on the team,
if he take James Harden to a title,
if he win a title with James Harden and the Clippers, he got to be over KD because it's like you had this nigga.
Look, man, I've been a KD defender.
You had this nigga.
Post Golden State, you've been swept twice, missed the playoffs. Lost it, like you got one. It's a lot of.
And I know we about to wrap up, but that's like what I said up in the group chat about the Suns. I'm like, my nigga, y'all made the finals and just said blow it up. Like y'all didn't say like let's keep improving a little bit over time. Like y'all said blow this shit up.
All right, I got a funny storyline. Josh Giddey. Hey, with that being said, appreciate everybody for checking in. Excuse me.
Bulls of fire. I'm on my Shannon Sharp shit.
In 98.
Next week.
He said 98.
Hey man, look. It's all love, man. Appreciate everybody for listening. As always, don't forget to go check out other shows we got here on Hard Foul Network. A&M is back this week. Matt's finally back in the country. You don't want to be, but he's finally back here. Don't forget to check out Hard Foul Radio. We are doing a new morning time this week, 4:30 to 6. Niggas waking up early. Make sure you check in, as well as 90 Feet and Group Chat back again here next Sunday. Appreciate y'all as always, and we'll see you then.
Peace.
Peace.